Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market because it's things are getting a little weird. Things are getting a little weird. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in the market and what I think your best move is right now. All right, so we've talked about what we call the tailwinds, the big things that are impacting the stock market and really kind of swaying how the market goes. We thought it was inflation, we thought it was interest rates, and it was at one point, and now it's one of those factors that we couldn't really predict. It is the Russian-Ukraine conflict and how things are escalating. President of the United States came out and said something earlier today about sanctions, and that's going to impact the market. We'll see how much that is going to impact the market. Here's what you need to know. Right now, I think your absolute best move is to sit still and do nothing. I didn't say sell. I didn't say go out there and start buying up stuff. And I'm going to tell you why here in a second. Now, if you're still going to DCA, which I will be doing, I'm going to adjust some things, but I will be DCAing this Friday like I always do. The key things are this. What we thought going into this, which we haven't been in it for that long, but when we thought going into this, isn't necessarily the case. So for example, when we did the first video about Russia and Ukraine and we talked about sanctions and the impact, the economic impact of what could occur, where we say we're not going to trade with Russia. Y'all are doing stuff we don't like. We're not going to trade with y'all. We're not taking your oil. And if we're not taking the oil from the second largest producer, that is less supply, more demand, prices of oil goes up, therefore the prices of oil stocks should be better. That is that basic supply and demand. It should just work that way. Well, today it wasn't necessarily the case. A lot of energy producers were down today. Devon Energy was down pretty significantly today. A lot of the companies that I had my eye on, why I don't personally invest in energy, because I told you all at the top of the year, it's a boom and bust cycle. It gets a little weird. I don't like the type of volatility. But in either case, that is an area that should have risen, would have made sense to go up, especially today. It did not. It's just weird. Another completely different industry, is a company I own, is Target. Target was down almost 4% today. What does it got to do with Target? This has nothing, like, it's a serious issue, but like nothing to do with retail at all, at least not on the surface. And Target kind of took a tiny tank today. That doesn't make sense. So, especially if you're new, where a trap that people fall into is, oh, well, this is happening, so let me game the system. Let me jump into energy stocks. Let me be fancy and try to position themselves for something that they may not totally understand, which I don't think many Americans do right now, especially investors, because this is new and it is coming fast and is really impacting the market. And there's a time zone difference too that makes things a little more difficult. So by the time something happens right now, and by the time the market opens, there's a lot of things that can occur while you and I are sleeping, and you have to wake up and absorb that information and figure out what's going on in real time. And then we have officials that are making statements at noon, 1 o'clock. It's really, really, really complex. And when you are absorbing complex information like geopolitics and you're trying to invest based on that information, is not the wisest decision until we have more data. So what am I going to do? I am not going to do anything but sit here and just deposit money in my account, invest small amounts of that, and just sit and wait. I'm not going to be doing any aggressive trades. I'm not going to be trying to read charts and do all kind of stuff, because what you thought would work is not working based on this particular situation. It's just not. And those rules are thrown out the window at this point in time. When I say like depositing small amounts, I will be DCAing like I always do on Fridays, but I will not be DCAing that entire amount. So for example, say I deposit, I don't know, $200 in my account, I might DCA half of that, keep the 100, and just keep doing that every week, so that when things smooth out and things make more sense, then I'll have more money at my disposal to take advantage of any moves possible. I still got quality company. I still think Target is a quality company. I don't know what's going on today, but it's still a quality company. That's how you want to approach it. So we've always been preaching this, right? Quality companies, quality ETFs, index funds. These are the places that you want to be, because at the end of the day, they're not, more than likely, not going anywhere, and that's where you wanna be. So again, my best strategy right now. Just continue depositing. I don't have to invest that whole amount. I think that's a habit we get into. I deposited $1,000. I deposited, $100 in my account. Must invest the whole 100 today. You don't have to do that. And because the market is so weird right now over the situation, I think just, nibble at a few things, but really build that cash position so that you can make a move when things become more clear. I don't know when that is going to be. Obviously, I want that to happen sooner than later. It may be several weeks, it may be several months. Hopefully, it won't be several years. I doubt that that is the answer to solutions for this to drag on for 3 or 4 years. I'm not going to overreact and automatically think that because we've been in this thing for a week and a half, or however long it's been. So do be very careful of that. I think that is your absolute best move, because again, the worst mistake you can make is trying to go out there and be very aggressive into something you think would make sense on paper, and it doesn't, because that's what we're finding out right now today. Yes, it made sense for some tech names to fall, but again, I feel like I say this every day, but again, like PayPal and Block, it ain't another 52-week low. What are we doing here? That does not make sense. These two things should not be related. But it fell anyway, right? Target fell anyway. Doesn't make sense. Energy companies fell anyway, even though it did make sense for them to rise. Lockheed Martin, that makes weapons, you would think, right, that would rise. It's not a place that I prefer to make my money. But you think it would rise today, and it was down slightly. It wasn't down by a lot, but it was down. Doesn't really make any sense. So when the market doesn't make any sense, I don't need to be investing right now. I can keep what I have, so I'm still technically investing, and I am, but I don't need to be active. I don't need to try and, zig when others are zagging. You can be patient, which I think this is that point in time. You can be patient, stick to your DCA if that's what you're doing, but don't overdo it. Don't be aggressive. This is the time to take your foot a little bit off the gas and just be cautious. This is really like, for those who know about this, is driving on ice. You can still drive. You can still get to your destination, but you have to you got to be real light on the brake, right? You got to be real careful about black ice. You got to be careful. Now, those that don't have never driven in the snow or the ice, people in Atlanta, watch a video. Watch a video on it. But this is a very cautious time. Do build that cash. Do be careful. And again, you don't have to make a move. You don't have to. You can just keep what you got. If it's quality, in time, it will grow. But this is definitely not a time for me to sell, and it's not a time for me to be aggressive into something that may not pan out. Okay? Make sense? All right, so that is it for me today. I will see y'all tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We do these videos day to day. I can't tell the future, so we'll see what happens, and then we'll cover that and discuss that. If you have a topic or a question that you want me to cover, or a company that you want me to cover, this is y'all channel. You put it in the comments, it gets added to the list, and we talk about it. All right, that is it for me. Talk to you guys later.